Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, this is Lisa, and today we're finally addressing one of these questions that comes back every single year. Should I buy an iPad or a MacBook for university/college? Every September, I see the same dilemma on Reddit, on group chats, on social media, and even among my own friends. People stress over what's the best for uni daily life, assignments, and note-taking. And honestly, I get it. I've been in the exact same situation last year. I've used both my iPad and my MacBook throughout my studies, and after going through a full year of business school, I think I finally got a clear answer. So in this video, I'm going to break it all down for you. The main differences, the advantages and disadvantages depending on what you're studying, and at the end, my own personal opinion as a business student, but also what I wish I had known before buying both. So let's end this debate once and for all. Let's start with the iPad. So this is the iPad Air 13-inch, the 2024 version, and I got it a year ago, 1 month after getting my MacBook, so at the end of September after back to school. When I first got it, I didn't really think it could replace a laptop at all, but actually after using it for university, it's actually super practical. So the main advantage is of course note-taking, as you can see, especially if you have the Apple Pencil, which I think is kinda mandatory if you get an iPad, and especially if you have a writing memory. And that's 100% me. I realized I retain so much more information when writing directly on the slides or on PPT. As you can see, for example, here, like I'm noting a little bit here, or even if you want to highlight some important words. So I think that's very great. After this, I put my slides directly on AI apps like TurboLearn or others, and I have my lectures all summed up with my notes on the slides, so I'm not missing any information during the lecture. It's super intuitive and it feels more natural than writing endless notes. You also get apps like GoodNotes, Notability, or even Freeform, which are perfect for note-taking and organizing your presentation and your notes. So now let's talk about sizes. So if you want to get the iPad mini, honestly, it's so portable, it's so great, but I wouldn't recommend it at all for university because it's too small. The iPad Air, so the one that I have, is kind of the sweet spot because it's slight and powerful, and it's perfect for uni daily lives, note-taking, and watching lectures. The iPad Pro gives you a bigger screen, a better refresh rate, and a better computer-like feeling experience, especially when you add the computer case, but it can be a little bit too heavy. But this one is of course more expensive, and I don't think you need that much of powerful software for uni, at least at the start. So if you're in medicine, art, architecture, or any field that requires drawings, diagrams, or visual notes, the iPad is unbeatable. I have friends studying medicine, and they literally draw organs or annotate body diagrams during lectures. And you cannot do that easily on a Mac. So for visual learners or people who prefer handwriting, the iPad wins hands down. But there's the but, because it's not perfect, of course. Typing on it is not as comfortable as a laptop. And multitasking, if you take the one that I have, if you split the screen size into two, it will still be comfortable. But if you have the 11-inch size, it can be quite small if you want to multitask. And one more important thing to mention is the peripheral limitation, because if you have an iPad, as you can see, you can only plug in a USB-C wire and you will need an adapter. It's kind of mandatory to have an adapter, because if you want to plug in a USB key, for example, then you won't need the adapter. So yeah, it's amazing for note-taking, portability, creativity, but it's not the best option if you want to run bigger software. So now let's talk about the one and only, the beast, the MacBook. So I got the MacBook Air 15-inch. I got it last year before back to school at the end of August, and honestly, it's in perfect condition. I would hope my MacBook to be in perfect condition after 1 year, honestly, for the price. But yes, so the MacBook is a little bit more expensive than the iPad. I think it's around 500 or 600 euros more than an iPad. I forgot to mention, but for both my iPad and my MacBook, I took the 256 gigabytes. of storage and nothing more. So let's be honest, the MacBook is a classic. It's fast, reliable, and built for productivity. If your studies involve using spreadsheets, presentation, writing reports, and also running heavier softwares, then this is where the MacBooks really shines. For example, in business schools, we often use Excel, data analysis tools, or even presentation softwares like PowerPoint or Canva, Google Slides, and that's when you realize how useful your computer is. Because I don't know if you try to actually use Excel on the iPad, but that's awful. That's awful. You will need a computer to use Excel for sure. You can open multiple tabs, use Zoom, manage multiple files easily, and also type comfortably. For a student who types quickly and spend hours writing essays, the keyboard in itself just makes the difference. Now, do you need the latest MacBook Air or Pro? Not necessarily. This is one of the biggest lessons I learned while using both. I wish I had kept my older computer and just used my iPad for everything else. Because for my day-to-day task as a business student, basic Excel, presentation, writing emails, any older laptop would have just done the job. Because my iPad can handle the note-taking and reading parts way more efficiently. So unless you're doing something super technical like computer science, engineering, or graphic design, you don't need a powerful Mac. But if you don't have any computer at all and you can only pick one device because yes, these devices are hella expensive, then the MacBook is probably a better long-term investment. It's more versatile, it works better for typing, and can handle everything, even though it's not as portable as the iPad. So after using both the iPad and the MacBook, here's my honest opinion. If I could go back, I would have kept my older laptop and only bought the iPad. Because at the end of the day, I'm not typing super quickly and I don't run heavier softwares daily. For me, having the iPad for note-taking, writing directly on slides, and reviewing lectures is just way more efficient. It just fits more with the way I study. It's more visual, more handwritten, and also more interactive. For example, when I'm in class, I can open the slides, write directly on them, highlight the most important things I should remember, and then keep everything organized in good notes. Because sometimes when you have a written memory, when you wrote something, you don't remember at all what you just wrote. With the iPad, because you have this hand movement, then you actually remember more efficiently. And also one more example with this hand movement or also the interactiveness of the iPad is that when I want to exercise and test myself with MCQs for my lectures, I use Good Notes and also TurboLearn. I actually remember this way more efficiently with the iPad, and it's so interactive. You just click. It's not the same as in a computer because you literally have the screen in front of your eyes and it's interactive by the way you're doing it. And if I'm not testing myself with MCQs, I can also listen to podcasts while also sliding with the Apple Pencil throughout my lectures and my notes, which is also super efficient. Then when I need to use Excel or any heavier software, I could have just used my older computer instead of buying a Mac. But of course, now that I have a Mac, then it works perfectly on it. But it's just a matter of choice. Of course, your laptop doesn't have to be fancy. It just needs to run Office smoothly and any other softwares. So to sum it up, if you already have a computer, then go for an iPad, especially if you're a visual and handwriting based learner. If you don't have any computer at all, then go for the MacBook. It's safer and more versatile overall. And finally, if you're studying arts or medicine or any field that is creative, then the iPad is 100% the way to go. So that's my take for the whole iPad versus uni situation. It really depends on how you study, what you're studying, and how much you're willing to spend. But hopefully this video helped you figure out which one fits your lifestyle better. And if it did, don't hesitate to like, subscribe, and also comment down below which one you use, which one you prefer, the iPad versus the MacBook. And I'm super curious to see what everyone else use in their fields or in their programs. So thank you everyone for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!